GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Here are our top stories.
Police say a 20-month-old toddler survived a collision between a vehicle and a stroller Thursday evening in Montreal's St. Laurent borough. The child remains hospitalized as investigators continue. Simon Fortier has the full story.
Police say a vehicle slammed into a stroller on a Thursday evening in St. Laurent, leaving a 20-month-old child badly hurt. The infant was strapped into the stroller when the car struck, sending the seat tumbling onto the sidewalk. First responders arrived within minutes, administering first aid before transporting the toddler to a nearby hospital, where doctors say the child is now in stable condition and expected to recover. Investigators are canvassing the area, reviewing dash cam footage and speaking with witnesses to determine the driver's speed and any possible traffic violations. No other pedestrians were injured, and the vehicle has been towed for further examination today. Simon Fortier, GMNA News, St. Laurent.
Police are set to intervene tonight at 7 p.m. in the courtyard of Maisonneuve Elementary School in Hochelaga-Maisonneuve. 2 patrol cars will pull up, and 5 officers will move onto the schoolyard to order 3 pre-adolescent players off the soccer game. The youths, who are mid-kick when the officers arrive, will be escorted from the premises and handed to a parent or guardian. A nearby resident, Noam Arbiaoui, observed the confrontation and called attention to the scene. Officers will keep the 2 patrol cars stationed outside, while the 5 remain on foot to secure the area. No injuries have been reported, and the school administration has not issued a statement. Parents are being told the incident is being handled by police, and that regular classes will resume after the officers depart.
U.S. biotech firms have begun releasing hundreds of thousands of sterile Asian tiger mosquitoes across the island in an effort to curb disease transmission. The operation, coordinated with Etienne Normandin of the Institute of Plant Biology Research at the University of Montreal, targets the invasive mosquito that spreads dengue, chikungunya, and Zika viruses. Officials say the mass release strategy leverages biological control, flooding breeding sites with males that outcompete wild females and thereby suppress population growth. The pilot, conducted in neighborhoods bordering the St. Lawrence, marks the first large-scale test of this approach on Canadian soil. Health authorities are monitoring mosquito counts and viral incidents closely as the releases continue through the summer months. Researchers caution that results will determine whether the method can be expanded to other regions facing similar vector threats.
A small island nestled between Montreal and Laval is now on the market with an asking price of $50,000. This unique property could attract buyers looking for private waterfront space. Anton Prevost has the full story.
At the water's edge between Montreal and Laval, a modest island has just hit the market. Listed at $50,000, the parcel sits amid the channel that separates the 2 cities, offering a rare slice of private shoreline. Real estate listings show the island spans only a few acres, with a small clearing that could accommodate a modest cabin or a seasonal retreat. No structures currently stand on the land, and access would require a private boat or a temporary bridge. The price reflects the unique nature of owning an isolated piece of terrain in a densely populated region. Interested buyers can view the full details through local real estate platforms. Anton Prevost, GMNA News, Laval.
Researchers have confirmed that a tornado touched down in the Montreal suburb of Repentigny on Sunday, August 2nd, causing damage to trees and buildings. The study, released by a team of atmospheric scientists, analyzed radar data and on-the-ground surveys to verify the vortex's characteristics, concluding that wind speeds met the criteria for a confirmed tornado. Officials noted that such an event is extremely uncommon in the province, where severe thunderstorms rarely produce tornadic activity. In Repentigny, several residential structures reported roof loss, shattered windows, and uprooted trees, prompting temporary power outages across the area. Emergency responders cleared debris and inspected damaged homes throughout the weekend. Local authorities are reviewing building codes to enhance resilience against rare severe weather. The researchers' findings will be incorporated into regional weather models to improve future warning systems for the island and its surrounding municipalities.
Up next, we'll explore Jean-François Cloutier's surprise candidacy for the Parti Québécois in Montreal and what it means. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Journalist Jean-François Cloutier disclosed today that he will stand as the Parti Québécois candidate in the Montreal riding on the South Shore. Cloutier, known for his investigative reporting, said his decision follows a long-standing interest in provincial affairs and a belief that the PQ can offer a distinct voice on sovereignty and social policy. He indicated his campaign will focus on affordable housing, public transit improvements, and protecting French language rights. The Montreal constituency, traditionally a battleground between the Liberals and the CAQ, will see a new entrant from a media background for the first time. Party officials confirmed the nomination will be formalized at a meeting next week, and the PQ hopes Cloutier's profile will energize its base ahead of the provincial election expected in the next year. Analysts note that his media experience could reshape campaign messaging.
Montreal's Green Line will run exclusively with older Mr. 73 subway cars beginning in 2031. The STM says those trains are 11 times less reliable than newer models. Anton Prévost has the full story.
Starting in 2031, the Green Line will run only the older Mr. 73 subway cars, the STM announced today. Those units which have been sharing the tracks with newer models will replace the mixed fleet entirely. The Transit Authority says the Mr. 73s are 11 times less reliable than the newer trains, a factor the agency says will shape maintenance schedules and service planning. Work is already underway to retire the newer cars from the line and reassign them to other routes. Commuters can expect the familiar rumble of the vintage trains returning to every station along the Green Corridor, while the STM prepares for the operational shift. Anton Prévost, GMNA News Plateau.
The Sûreté du Québec has issued an appeal for help locating an 80-year-old woman who vanished from her Principal Street home in Cowansville this evening. Neighbors said she was not seen after leaving her front door around 7:52 p.m., and no struggle was evident inside. Police have canvassed nearby streets, spoken with family, and deployed a K-9 search team. Authorities urge anyone who saw unfamiliar vehicles, heard noises, or spotted the woman walking alone to contact the provincial police line. The investigation is active, with officers widening the perimeter and reviewing nearby surveillance footage. She's described as average build, short brown hair, wearing a blue cardigan and dark trousers. Provincial police have coordinated with Cowansville officers and set up a command post at Town Hall, asking residents to check basements, garages, and outbuildings.
The province's premier announced today that American-origin alcoholic drinks will remain excluded from Quebec's government-run SAQ stores. In a press briefing, she emphasized that the decision is a provincial matter, not subject to any federal negotiations. While Ottawa is reportedly reviewing a possible relaxation of Canada's long-standing ban on U.S. spirits and wine to accommodate American trade requests, Quebec officials stress that only the SAQ can determine its product lineup. The premier reiterated that Quebec will continue to protect its market for domestic producers and maintain existing regulations on imported liquor. No timeline was given for any future policy shift, and the SAQ will keep its current inventory unchanged for the foreseeable future. She also noted that recent talks with the United States have not altered Quebec's stance, and that any change would require a provincial decree. Consumers can expect the selection of Quebec-made wines, beers, and spirits for now.
Viral Quebec duo Angan de Poitrine has announced a United States tour featuring a roster of selected Quebec musicians. The lineup underscores their rising national profile. Elise Marchand has the full story.
Angan de Poitrine stepped onto the stage at Place des Arts this afternoon, announcing that a handful of fellow Quebec musicians will accompany them on a forthcoming trek across the United States. The duo, whose online videos have been racking up millions of views, said the tour will showcase a mix of indie rock, folk, and electronic acts, giving the group a chance to bring a slice of Quebec's sound to American audiences. Organizers hinted that the itinerary will swing through major markets from coast to coast, though exact dates and venues are still being finalized. Fans gathered outside the venue waved flags and streamed live updates, hoping to catch a glimpse of the artists before they head south. Elise Marchand, GMNA News, Place des Arts.
Now let's hand it over to our meteorologists for tonight's forecast. Stay tuned.
A waning high-pressure ridge yields a dry night, while a southwest jet stream drags modest breezes across Montreal. On this date, Montreal once baked to 32.5 degrees Celsius back in 2022, a record set during an early season heat wave that pushed the downtown thermometer well above the usual August peak. The cold counterpart fell to 12 degrees Celsius in 2015, when an Arctic surge slipped southward and blanketed the city in an unseasonal freeze. Normal August readings hover around 26 degrees for the high and 18 for the low, so today's 24-degree reading sits comfortably between those historic extremes. The live radar is utterly quiet across the province, with no echo returning from the St. Lawrence Basin or the surrounding hills. A high-pressure ridge entrenched over eastern Canada keeps the column of air stable, while the southwest jet stream rides aloft at 115 kilometers per hour, steering any residual moisture eastward. With no surface convergence, precipitation will remain absent through the night, and the clear skies will persist until sunrise. At 11 p.m., Montreal sits under a mostly cloudy deck at 24 degrees Celsius, humidity lingering near 85%, and a gentle southwest breeze at 11 kilometers per hour. Pressure is near average but easing lower, signaling a gradual loosening of the ridge that has dominated the week. Overhead, the southwest jet stream thunders at 115 kilometers per hour, reinforcing the modest breezes without injecting new lift. With no rain in the forecast, the night will remain dry, and temperatures will dip to 21 degrees by sunrise. UV index reads 5, wind will stay below 25 kilometers per hour, and there are no active weather alerts. This stable backdrop sets the stage for tomorrow's overcast spell. Saturday brings a high of 27 degrees and a low of 21 under a thick overcast, as the lingering ridge supplies steady southwest flow. Sunday clears dramatically, with a high of 27 and a low of 20, the sky opening to a crisp blue as the jet stream shifts northward, allowing sunshine to dominate. Monday returns to cloud cover, 27 to 20, and a 40% chance of rain as a weak frontal boundary nudges east, reintroducing modest lift. Tuesday and Wednesday stay dry, with highs of 26 and 25 respectively, lows settling around 18, and clear skies persisting as high pressure re-establishes itself. The temperature swing stays modest, but the mid-week dry spell offers a brief respite before the next system approaches. And that's your weather. Remember, the wrap is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, traffic updates, a look at what's on today, and a preview of the Canadian season outlook. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
And now here's Jason with sports.
Canadians front office busy, contracts, rankings, and a negotiation to watch. Montreal has signed defenseman Maximilian Schubert to a one-year, two-way deal for 2026 to 27. Schubert came over from Utah in the Joshua Roy trade, so the Canadians are now formally closing the loop on that transaction. Two-way terms signal he'll compete for time between Montreal and Laval. Pittsburgh handed Ville Koivunen an 8-year, $32 million contract, and that number now hangs over the Canadiens' negotiations with Zachary Bolduc. Comparable deals shape the market, and Bolduc's camp will notice. Kent Hughes needs to get this done before the comps keep climbing. Cole Caulfield lands 9th in NHL Network's winger rankings, league-wide recognition that the rebuild has a legitimate star at its core. Meanwhile, unrestricted free agent Patrick Lane is drawing attention as an affordable offensive ad. If Hughes is accelerating the timeline, Lane is the kind of low-risk, high-upside name worth a conversation.
Welcome back. Emergency physicians across Quebec report sustained high patient volumes this summer, saying traditional staffing models no longer suffice, according to Dr. Marie-Maude Couture of the Association of Emergency Physicians of Quebec. Simon Fortier has the full story.
Emergency departments across Quebec are still grappling with heavy patient loads this summer, a period that normally brings a lull. Physicians, led by Dr. Marie-Maude Couture of the Association of Emergency Physicians of Quebec, say the surge in volumes has erased the usual seasonal relief. Staff are forced to abandon the staffing models and treatment protocols that worked in past years, as the steady influx overwhelms beds and resources. The heightened demand reflects a broader trend of increasing workloads that has outpaced traditional emergency practices. Across the province, emergency physicians report that patient volumes have been climbing year after year, stretching crews to their limits. With no sign of the expected summer dip, doctors warn that the strain could persist well beyond the season. Simon Fortier, GMNA News, Montreal.
Quebec officials say they will not add new regulations for electric scooters, despite health professionals' warning of a surge in serious injuries among child riders across the province. Simon Fortier has the full story.
Provincial officials announced Thursday that they will not add any new regulations for electric scooters, even as doctors across the province warn of a sharp rise in severe injuries among young riders. Health professionals say the number of children taken to emergency rooms for head trauma and broken bones has climbed steadily since the scooters became a common sight on city streets. The decision comes despite growing public debate over safety standards and calls for age limits. Quebec's Transport Ministry says existing rules on speed limits and helmet use are sufficient. These rules cap speed at 15 kilometers per hour in pedestrian zones, while hospitals continue to see more pediatric cases linked to scooter accidents. Simon Fortier, GMNA News, Montreal.
Thanks, Montreal, for joining us on the wrap. That brave toddler's survival after a car stroller crash reminded us how quickly life can change. We'll be back tomorrow with more of the stories that matter to you. Keep an eye on the news and keep your community strong. Stay safe and see you then.